Hey. Welcome to a world of laughter, learning, and entertainment. Hello, dear viewers. Get ready to expand your horizons as we delve into Manikkadavu. Manikkadavu is a village in Kannur district, Kerala, India. It is situated among the foothills of Western Ghats and bordering the Kodagu range of Karnataka evergreen forests. As its crown there lies Kurisu Mala Mount Hill of the Cross Forest in the west, beyond which it is Paadan Kavala and other tourism points of Kanjirakolly. Manikkadavu is located 15 north of the town Iritty and is 56 northeast of the district capital Kannur. It is between the town's village of Ulikkal, Payyavoor, and Kanjirakolli. The village is situated about 538 kilometers north of state capital Thiruvananthapuram. Human habitation in Manikkadavu traces back thousands of years. The Hindus, Muslims and Christians there live in amity. The settlers from Travancore form about 90% of the population and have spent their lives to make this land ever so productive, and have in these years since 1948, when their migration began, struggled with nature and produce spices, rubber, cashew nut, vegetable and so on. Moving ahead, let's uncover the hidden gems within geography and discover their significance. Manikkadavu is a typical Kerala village, which has a mixture of features of both midland countryside and the Mullaned Hill area, enveloped in greenery with a clean and unpolluted atmosphere. Manikkadavu town is medium-sized at about 3,000 feet above sea level. The place is known for its agriculture and landscape. It is full of hills and valleys, in the middle of which flows the Manikkadavu River. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of people. The original inhabitants of the land were Kurumpulas. A large-scale migration from Travancore started in Manikkadavu from 1948. Today, majority of the population, the migrant Syrian Christians, Syro-Malabar Catholic. There is a small colony of Kurumpulas near Kanjirakolli. It has resemblance to a tropical rainforest area with all kinds of trees like teak and jackfruit are found in the Western Ghats region, growing profusely besides coconut, rubber, arecanut, and other crops. Most of the people are farmers and they cultivate rubber, ginger, turmeric, pepper, cashew, and other spices. Considerable variety of medicinal plants also grow in Manikkadavu, which have been used in making the traditional home remedies. Now, let's redirect our focus towards culture and discover its significance in our narrative. Manikkadavu is a rural but modern village with a predominantly hilly topography. It has a dominant village culture, with celebrating the annual festivals, feasts in church and so on. Kerala's own culture exists here in vibrant form. There is only a moderate level of political activity. Indian National Congress and Communist Party of India are the dominant parties, and there is no social divisions over politics. People at Manikkadavu are educated and self-employed or employed either in government, private or abroad. This place is blessed different kind of educational institution. St. Thomas Higher Secondary School, now more than 6 decades old, has played a vital role in providing education to the people of Manikkadavu. Compared to other nearby villages, the infrastructure is also better. As we progress, let's zoom in on banking institution and examine its role in shaping our overall narrative. Nucleared Service Cooperative Bank, Grameen Bank. In this chapter, we'll be unraveling the enigma of educational institution and discovering its transformative power. St. Thomas Higher Secondary School, St. Thomas UP School. As we transition, let's shed light on places of worship and its relevance to our ongoing exploration. St. Thomas Catholic Church, Syro-Malabar India Pentecostal Church of God. In the upcoming section, we'll be shining a light on transportation. The national highway passes through Kannur town. Mangalore and Mumbai can be accessed on the northern side, and Cochin and Thiruvananthapuram can be accessed on the southern side. The road to the east of Iritty connects to Mysore and Bangalore. The nearest railway station is Kannur on Mangalore-Palakkad line. There are airports at Kannur, Mangalore and Calicut. The village of Manikkadavu is located 60 kilometers from the district headquarters of Kannur. Distance to Manikkadavu from neighboring places in Iritty, Ulikkal village Panchayat headquarters -8, Taliparam Taluk headquarters 45. From Kannur we can reach Manikkadavu via Iritty Ulikkal Vatiyamthode or Iritty Ulikkal Nujiyad Manikkadavu, and from Taliparam via Payyavoor Nujiyad Manipura. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of name and exploring its multifaceted nature. The name Manikkadavu is also spelt Manikkadavu or Manikkadav. The myth about the name is related to the story of a Durmurthy evil spirit or demon called Manikkadavu, also known as Manikkadavu, most feared by the Aborigines, the Kurrumpulars. It is traditionally believed that Manikkadavu and Manipura, the two neighbouring villages, got their old names Manikkada and Manipurambu respectively from Manikkadavu and Mani Bhagavathi or goddess Mani. Later the settlers from Travancore modified the names to the present-day form. Before the advent of settlers from Travancore, the only inhabitants of the land were Kurrumpulars, and the place a part of a dense private forest owned by an aristocratic Jammi landlord family. The Kurrumpullar tribe of those days found their livelihood through agriculture, fishing and hunting. They spared the huge trees in the jungle and cleared only the bush and creepers, and sowed paddy and other seasonal crops. Every year, after harvest, they shifted to new parts of the jungle. Through the dense forest they used to go every day in groups for hunting and fishing, and anyone missed from the group was sure to be missed forever and was supposed to be eaten by Manikkadavu, the Durmurthy. Perhaps the poor tribal might have been killed by some wild animal, but it boosted the scare of the evil spirit always. The Kurrumpulars believed that there existed a temple of Lord Siva at Manippurathatu, near Manikkadavu. But, hurt by the Durmurthy and quite scared of it, the priests and other officials deserted the temple and even their homes. One day Manipathi's Mani Bhagavathi, a goddess of the jungle called Mani, appeared at Manippurathatu to save the jungle people from the Durmurthy. The goddess chased Manikkadavu until at last it entered a cave at Manikkadavu near the present-day Manikkadavu Kanjirakolly road. The goddess gave the Durmurthy strict orders never to cross the face of cave or hurt people anymore. To immortalize the memory of her appearance, it is believed, the goddess erected at Manipura 2 chambers carved out of laterite, one of which exists even today, withstanding the challenges of the seasons all through. It is now known as Ikalara Kalu's stone, era equals small room chamber. From the day of its appearance, there began Ithayama ritual to please the goddess. There was also a Kabwa sacred forest where a Patutsavum Patu song, Utsavum festival was held for 10 days annually to appease Ikatupofi, goddess of jungle, another name for goddess Mani, whose real name, the Kurrumpullar elders say, is Chusli Bhagavathi. Now there is only a single huge and tall tree in place of the former sacred forest to remind us of the ancient festivities. About 500 meters away from the Ikavu, there is a cave on the right side and, during monsoon, a wondrous spring of water on the left. If we walk through the cave for about 25 meters from its opening or entrance, we see the beginning of an underground stream. Now, let's redirect our focus towards early history and discover its significance in our narrative. Manikkadavu and the adjacent villages, before the independence of India, were private forests owned by a landlord family of Naina caste called Karikatuidam. They were the subjects of Chirakal Rajas who retained power as the loyalists of British Raj. As per the local version of feudalism, the Jammi landlord family was not only owned the land but ruled over its tenants. The tenements of this forest land were the Kurrumpulars, the first ever inhabitants of Manikkadavu. Though some very old Kurrumpullar elders say that there lived in ancient Manikkadavu a tribe called Ulikkal, there is no proof of it. For thousands of years the people of Kurrumpullar tribe were leading a most eco-friendly life here, quite a jungle life indeed. They adopted very crude and ancient ways of agriculture. They never used spade, used only parrier instead. Parrier is a 3-inch long and 1-inch broad miniature of spade with a wooden handle 1 foot in length. Sparing the huge trees and clearing bushes, creepers and other wild plants, they prepared ground with their parrier and cultivated paddy and other seasonal crops. Beating foodie, a typical drum of the tribal, they would sing melodiously their traditional Viola Chapata while preparing ground and sowing paddy. Every year after harvest, they shift to a new place, abandoning the old. They called this system Ponam Krishi. Ponam and Krishi in a language means forest and farming respectively. Besides, they went on hunting and fishing to find their daily food. They had to give the Jani a portion of the animal they hunt. Exploited by the rich nobility, the ignorant and quite illiterate tribal people led a miserable life. They had to pay the landlord earth or even more of the crops as avaram, also known as ipurpaju, fixed percentage of crops as levy to the landlord. During the months of Ikani and Ithuam, the loyal official of the Jani, the landlord called surveyor, would come to the jungle land, allot land and fix avaram for the next year's cultivation. The tribal people had to travel a lot by foot through the jungle paths, carrying the huge load of vegetables and other crops to offer at the idam, the Jani's palatial home in the village outside the forest. There the poor untouchables always got a cold reception. Quite down below the courtyard of idam, they were stopped, and a Karyastan, or the chief executive officer of the Jani, would accept their offerings and give them a core cooked rice in plantain leaf. For drinking water they had to go to the stream nearby, and no vessels were provided. The Jani's words were binding. He had the right to give the poor tribal even the capital punishment. He could also evict the tribal people from their cultivated land. The Jani's men would put small branches of trees with its leaves and put stones on the same to demarcate the land of a tenant who had acquired the wrath of the Jani. The evicted person thereby lost all the rights over his crops and was thereafter forbidden to enter his hut or even the cultivated land. This practice was known as ikalam tholam vikal, putting stone and leaves. The Karampala elders say that it was an ancient custom among them to offer ikasis bundles of paddy to goddess Moni at the Nuchiad temple. Their ikasis were accepted from outside the temple compound by the Embrasan, a temple official. They were given payasam made of rice, sugar and milk, but since they were treated as untouchables, not permitted to enter the temple. The story about an ancient civilization still lingers among Karampala elders. It tells us that there was a Brahmin settlement at a place formerly known as Illathampadi somewhere near present-day Manikkadave. Reminiscent of destroyed or deserted Illam's Brahmin homes were found scattered at that part before the deforestation after the advent of settlers from Travancore. Similar stories are there about Onaparambu and Anambadaparambu, two places existing only in legends passed over through ages. Those two places, on analyzing the tribal stories, we can conclude were flourishing centers of ancient Hindu culture, existed somewhere near present-day Nuyad. The ritualistic worship of Moni Bhagavathi goddess Moni, known as Ikulasam, is performed by Ayachikaran, the tribal priest of the Karampalas. Palathu Ambu, the present Ayachikaran, believes that there lived Kolantha Chemaran, the first Ayachikaran of this place, even at the time when there was stone and earth. He had come to this place from a place called Erlanthanodu. He made there a Evalapu, or a small estate of coconut and areca nut trees, and also cultivated paddy. In those days the Ayachikaran was the only Karampala with a permanent dwelling place, and around it there were coconut and many fruit trees, including jackfruit trees and mango trees. This ancestral property of Ayachikaran, known as the Valyerika Valapu, was later acquired by a timber trader, who was also a money lender, in a quite deceitful manner, laments the present Ayachikaran. When the present Ayachikaran took charge, Manikkadavu and surrounding places were the part of a dense forest known as Kanjirakolly. He and his family began life here at a valley Charikal Palmu. The Jani had given them the land with the right to use at their discretion. It was from the officials of the Jani, known as Ikaryastans, that the illiterate Karampalas knew the dates of the year and the names of the months and seasons. For medicine they used only the herbs got from the forest. Only the Ayachikaran of the Karampala tribe has the right to perform Ikulasam Ketioduka. The Iparuvanan from Iparikalam, a nearby village, also came to this place to perform some other forms of rituals to goddess Moni like Ithayim or Manipathay Ketiodal. It is believed that it is Moni Bhagavathi who speaks through the Ayachikaran while he performs Ikulasam. Though quite illiterate, the humble simple tribal priest knows the language of goddess Moni. The Iritty claims that during Kurisu he sees goddess Mani as a silent tall lady of the complexion of red silk, with long silky hair and closed eyes. On the day of Kurisu, a small miniature of a hut called Modam is built and an oil lamp is kindled inside to honor and pray to the late Kannurs. The ritual related to this function is called Kodagu. If this ritual is not performed, the Kannurs believe the departed souls will wander in agony. In the following section, we'll be immersing ourselves in the captivating world of recent history. The present Iritty inherited the title from his father. Every night he kindles the light calling God, Iswarimath of Goddess Mother. The first Iritty got the title from the Nayana family of Iritty, the family of the landlords, along with a sword, red silk and gold bangles symbolizing the priestly position. In ancient days, the Kannurs had no deities other than Thiruvananthapuram and goddess Mani. On special occasions they offered chicken to the Iritty, especially when Kurisu was conducted. In the olden days, the Kannurs had their own way of celebrating their Mangalam marriage. The friends and relatives of the groom assemble first at his residence. Then, beating thudi and singing their traditional songs, they all go to the residence of the bride's uncle. There they would stay for a day. Most often the number of the team exceeds 100. Up to dawn they would all feast, beat their thudi and sing Mangalam Pata, their traditional songs meant for marriage celebration. Dowry system was quite unknown to them. Marriage among them was really an agreement between two families. If a boy and a girl fall in love with each other, his parents and the Kannur's uncles would visit the girl's uncle and offer him paddy, discuss the proposal and fix the marriage. Together they would drink todith only liquor known to them, and their merrymaking often went on for a whole day. Cucumber was the main dish of those days. Italy, the ornament worn by Hindu women as a symbol of wedlock, was not used by them before the coming of settlers from Travancore. The marriage celebrations were conducted at the Kannur's house and expenses were met by him. The culture, and even the food habits, of Kannurs have much changed after the large-scale migration of Christian settlers from Travancore. Tapika and many other new crops were introduced by them. The settlers bought the forest land from the Jani. They cleared forest, began to cultivate seasonal as well as permanent crops. The vast stretch of land used until their arrival at the will and pleasure of the Kannurs for Paadan Kavala thus became the land of the settlers. The particular way of farming Paadan Kavala thus came to an end, and they were thereafter confined to a few acres of land at a hill called Iritty, known also as Gondinaga, in the outskirts of Manikkadavu, and also at Chitari near River Ulikkal at Kanjirakolly. The elders among them remember their first encounters with the settlers. It was from them that they got tapika to eat and country liquor to drink for the first time. From them, for the first time, they heard the word Christian, learned about the way of a settled life, and knew about cash crops. Have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future videos? Let me know in the comments.